Hi guys, welcome back to 100% Mag. So of course this is going to be a video to talk about the latest news circulating around Newcastle United right now. And of course, as you might have guessed by the title of this video, of course Newcastle have signed a player in this window, and it is of course a wonder kid from Manchester City. His name is of course ALFIE Harrison. Now this is a player that I've had a bit of a chance of looking at. Of course, I knew him from Football Manager games as well. He is a wonder kid on the Football Manager games. And of course, I've seen a few clips of him from the moment he was announced yesterday by Newcastle United that we had signed the deal for this youngster from Manchester City's academy. And of course, he is a highly rated youngster with Manchester City's academy as well. Of course, last season he was getting a lot of praise for the goals and the performances he was putting in for, of course, Manchester City. But this news came out yesterday from David Ornstein of The Athletic. Him, of course, coming out and saying exactly this, what you can see up on your screen right now, right here. Of course, Newcastle reach agreement with Man City to sign midfield talent ALFIE Harrison for an undisclosed fee. The 18-year-old to undergo medical in the coming days before signing long-term contract with Nufc. Pursuit centered on clear path towards the first team. That is the good thing about ALFIE Harrison that we have seen from the clips, and what, of course, most people who will already know this lad, of course, he's got that ability to go straight into the first team, and that is something that we have been looking at a lot. Players, who have the ability, who are young, like ALFIE Harrison, to be able to make that step straight into the first team. We've seen it this season already for the likes of Lewis Miley, coming about the youngsters for us and moving straight into the first team. We've seen it with other players as well, like Ben Parkinson as well, getting his chance off of the bench for Newcastle as well at times in games this season. So that is something that, Eddie Howe has prided himself on from day one as a manager, to give the young talent a chance. Even in his days at Bournemouth, he always gives the young players a chance. And of course, I'm sure ALFIE Harrison has seen this from afar, seen what Lewis Miley's doing for Newcastle United, and thought, I want a piece of that pie. I want a piece of that black and white journey, that black and white project that is going on in Newcastle United. So he has, of course, signed a deal. He does have to pass his medical, but I'm sure that won't be a problem with him being an 18-year-old lad. He has had some injury problems, of course, in the past, but he has been firing on all cylinders for Manchester City, of course, since them injury problems. And I've got to say, he's got a fantastic record. This is the page that Man City's got up, of course, on the lad on their own website. He's a skillful, dynamic midfielder, as you can see by what it says there. Since signing for Man City at the age of 9, ALFIE's technical ability and eye for a pass ensured he progressed strongly through the age group teams before signing his scholarship in 2022. A player capable of impacting with goals, assists from midfield, Harrison moved into the under-18s for the 22-23 season. He made 21 appearances for the under-18s throughout the campaign, grabbing 6 goals and 4 assists in an impressive debut season in the under-18 Premier League, of course, which Man City ended up going on to win. Harrison will stay within Wilkinson's ranks, of course, for the 23-24 season, providing an experienced head in midfield as he hopes to win another under-18 Premier League title. But we all know that that will now no longer happen, as he has, of course, agreed the deal pending his medical, of course, with Newcastle United, but he will be a Newcastle United youngster moving forward. Let us know what you think about this. This is a fantastic player. This is going to be another player, of course, that will benefit us moving forward in the future. Somebody, that a lot of people are saying is along the lines of a Cole Palmer, which we've seen what he's doing at Chelsea. A few other Man City fans were saying he's along the same lines as a David Silva, and we all know what David Silva did for Manchester City and what he did in his career as well. So if he's anywhere near that ability of a player, you know, then we have got an absolute steal here from Manchester City. We have literally stolen a golden goose from Manchester City. Of course, if that is the case, that of course he is that kind of player. But that is the reports coming from David Ornstein. Of course, that was yesterday at just after 5:30 yesterday. So, of course, we'll have to wait and see when he passes his medical. But it is a done deal. Just the medical he has to go through. And reports as well from David Ornstein talking about Kieran Trippier. We now know that Newcastle, of course, have told Bayern Munich that our fee for Kieran Trippier is minimum 20 million for Kieran Trippier. That is the fee that we'll be happy with. If they do not reach that target, then we will not be selling Kieran Trippier in this window, as they've already put in offers of 15 million euros and 16 million euros, and both have been absolutely 100% rejected by Newcastle United. No way we're selling them for 15 million euros or 16 million euros. It's not enough money, of course, for what we want for Kieran Trippier, and especially at 33 years old. He's the best right back in the world right now as well. So if we can't get that fee that we're looking for, then there's no point in selling him, because he'd benefit with more being in the team than we're taking that 15 million or 16 million euros from Bayern Munich, because then we'd have to go out and find another right back. Yes, we've got Tino Livramento there, but then we'd need the backup options in there as well. We do have Emil Kraft, but, you know, you can't let somebody like a Kieran Trippier go for such a small amount. You know, if Bayern Munich want him that bad, then they will pay the money that Newcastle are asking for Kieran Trippier. Of course, we've also seen as well, there's a little few stats on Alfie Harrison as well from this season. 10 goals and 6 assists so far for the youngster, so he is going to be absolutely fantastic. That coming from the Secret Scout, of course, on Twitter, or X if you want to call it that now. And of course, we did find out yesterday as well, it's not transfer news, but it is, of course, Newcastle United team news. And we did find out, as you can see, of course, Newcastle confirmed that Joelinton has successfully undergone surgery on a thigh injury sustained earlier this month. Of course, the midfielder will now commence a period of rehabilitation overseen by the club's medical team, and is expected to return to action in May of this year. And of course, Newcastle putting out a wish him a speedy recovery, of course, for Joey. Same goes here as well. Absolutely 100% speedy recovery for Big Joe. Of course, it's sad to see the lad pick up an injury at this point in the season, but hopefully he does get to return in time to play at least a few extra games this season before this season ends out. And of course, we did see some reports as well. Just Pete Graves talking about Kieran Trippier there, saying about the rejected bid, and that, you know, they must improve their bid if they want to get Kieran Trippier from us, by Munich, of course, on that one. As well, Craig Hope talking about the Joelinton thing as well for the injury, and that he could return in May. Last game of the season is May 19th. Craig Hope just reiterating there on that one. And of course, Dominic Scroll talking about the deal as well for Alfie Harrison, in talking about, of course, the realistic pathway to the first team for the teenager looks a great prospect. Also, as well, Ben Jacobs is still going on about the talks of Almiron to Al-Shabaab, of course, in the Saudi League. This is a one that, of course, quite a few other journalists have talked about as well. I do believe I've got, if I can find it, I do believe I've got a bit here from, yes, Ed Aarons, of course, who says that it's understood that Newcastle want 30 million for Almiron. Talks ongoing with the Saudi club Al-Shabaab. Of course, that is the fee that Newcastle will be happy to allow Almiron to leave for, probably minimum 20 mil to 30 mil. I'd say, for Almiron. If we can get that in, then of course it will benefit. We're moving forward, and we're already looking at, of course, a possible replacement for Almiron as well, which could be about to happen this deal at some point, because we have seen that Nottingham Forest are making some moves, and we all know that Nottingham Forest has got at the moment FFP problems like Everton, and we are seeing, of course, Nottingham Forest making some moves. So maybe this could be happening. Keep your eyes on this one. This deal could be happening, because Morgan Gibbs-White is a massive fan of Newcastle United. Of course, we've seen him as well play in the Euros tournament with Anthony Gordon before this season, where both of them connected absolutely fantastically together. They had a really good partnership, and it would be nice to see that partnership, of course, come back in, of course, the form of black and white. Of course, and we've been scouting him extensively for a while, and it is a possibility that he could be the replacement for Almiron. I mean, if you look at the possibilities, you know, of this window finishing, you know, in us getting Gibbs-White and Alfie Harrison, if them are the only two that we can sign in this window, and we can maybe offload a few bodies on the older side, you know, for decent fees like Callum Wilson and Kieran Trippier, you know, get them wages off the books and get some decent fees for them as well. That would be a fantastic window in my book. And getting in somebody like Morgan Gibbs-White as well, you know, we've seen what he can do for Nottingham Forest. So put him into a team like us, you know, where we've got that attacking ability, we've got that aggressive pressing style of football. I think he could be an absolutely fantastic player for us, definitely moving forward. But let us know your thoughts about that one, of course, down in the comments below. But there's plenty of talk going around about that deal. I believe there is a little bit more in there as well. Yeah, there was even this one as well, just a Newcastle fan carrying on social media, or Nottingham Forest fan carrying on social media, and then Newcastle fan taking it on is a bit of a crack. Of course, Nottingham Forest fan saying he spotted Morgan Gibbs-White and his local Greggs down in Nottingham, and of course Newcastle fan there, Tom Gregory, of course, just saying Toon confirmed he loves Greggs. If he loves Greggs, then there's no better place than Newcastle United for him, because we've got so many Greggs stores up here, and it is the birthplace of Greggs as well. So just a perfect chance for the lad, of course, to be up in the northeast and enjoying it up here as well. And he has a few stats as well of when Morgan Gibbs-White took on Newcastle United as well this season. 89% pass accuracy, 61 touches, 31 out of 35 passes completed, 9 ground duels won, 5 out of 6 tackles won, 4 key passes, 3 out of 4 dribbles completed, and 3 aerial duels won. A ridiculous talent, and he did, as it says, you know, rip Nufc to shreds in that game. He was absolutely fantastic against her, and I don't mind saying that, because this lad is a really good talent. If we can get him in as well, you know, he will benefit us immensely moving forward. But there's plenty of talk of loads of different players, you know, coming to Newcastle United. But we just have to wait and see what is happening with these deals, you know, because unfortunately there's still quite a lot of journalists out there, you know, the likes of Craig Hope, Luke Edwards, other journalists as well, you know, of high profile, that are using the clickbait technique, you know, throwing Newcastle's name in there on deals where Newcastle haven't actually come out and said that they're interested in these players, you know. And we've seen that a lot since these owners have come in, that this sort of thing goes on, you know, just chucking Newcastle United's name on there, you know, for a chance to up the fee of their player. So we do have to wean through them ones. But, you know, the likes of Morgan Gibbs-White, like I've said, you know, he's been extensively scouted by Newcastle United in previous windows. Other players that were being linked with as well, like Edison of Atalanta, he's also been scouted in previous windows. There's other players in there as well that Newcastle have looked at in previous windows. But for me, what we should be targeting on is getting rid of some of the aging players in the squad, getting rid of some of that bulk of wages on with wage bill. you know, taking that down a notch and looking to bring in a few players here and there in this window, but mostly focusing on bringing down that wage bill, bringing down the costs towards the FFP, and allowing a little bit more leg room in that FFP as well, especially with this summer. Of course, it's switching to a different style. It also ends on the on this one that we're currently on at the minute, and it gives everybody a fresh slate. So that would allow for more spending in the summer window, and especially with the deals like Adidas coming in, the Salah deal as well being expanded upon, and all of the other merchandise deals that are coming into it, and sponsorship deals that are coming in, the TV money, the money from the Champions League. Yes, it's not the money that we wanted from the Champions League, but we are getting big boost from Champions League money as well. So all of that's going to benefit we're immensely, you know, coming into that summer window. But as of now, it is, you know, doing what we can in this January window with the limited room we do have, because there is a very limited room at the moment. We do have to offload some players by the sounds of it to be able to get a couple of bodies in this January transfer window to help with push, of course, for them European places. But if we do miss out on Europe, you know, then there is always a chance, you know, of just focusing on the Premier League, focusing on the Cups next season if we do happen to miss out on Europe. But I really would be happy, you know, even if we were able to manage to get a 7th place, you know, the Euro Conference League. I would take that. At the end of the day, it's still Europe. It's a chance to win a cup as well, because the teams that you're playing that, you know, they're not the best. They're like third world teams. You know, we're seeing what West Ham did in that. They went undefeated in that, you know, so if they can do that, then we could easily win that competition. But let us know your thoughts anyway down in the comments below. But before I end off the stream, thanks to everybody for tuning in, watching the stream, and hopefully you have liked it. If you have, please consider hitting that thumbs up, and consider hitting the subscribe button as well, as we're on the road now to the next milestone, which is 2.5k subscribers. And thanks to Jody Dread TV as well, a fantastic YouTuber also, who has popped on to say a hi on this stream as well. Hope you're doing well, mate, and good luck with your channel as well. Love your content that you put out over there on your channel. Until next time, I'll see you all later, and however, lads.